little bit windy, but this room right here is 20, and it's gonna be roughly about 13, 14 feet this way. And I'm gonna put the storm shelter underneath that, and I'll have access to it through this room. So I'm gonna mark this off, and then I'm gonna dig out down so I can put, figure out what my grade is at the bottom and start forming up my footing. This will probably take me the rest of the day to get this all dug out. Then we'll go from there, but it's gonna be a lot of work. I really didn't want to go this route just because forming up a footing in a wall is pretty, I mean, it's just pretty physically demanding by yourself. But, and I guess look at it this way, I'll show you how to do a footing and form up a wall out of 4x8 sheets of plywood and 2x4s. So let's get busy. I think I pretty much got my hole pretty darn close to where it needs to be. I'm gonna get the transit laser level and see how close it is, and then tomorrow I'll get a load of rock in here and start framing up my footing. So it's a long day. I gathered a bunch of materials and then came out here to dig this, and I think I might get it done, but a lot of work ahead. And try to do as much how-to stuff as I can as I go. So I got a concrete truck coming tomorrow morning at 10, so it's 6:30, but I got to get this done. So I'm just gonna suck it up and work as late as I have to. But anyway, step one is you got to dig, do whatever excavating you got to do for, you know, depending on your application. You got to get that excavated. I could have done a little bit better job. I need to, if I have time, I'm gonna go back and pull some of this dirt back further so it doesn't fall in. They're not calling for rain for another week, but you never know. So I'm still gonna try to pull it back to keep some of that dirt falling in. As long as I can get my footing formed up, I should be good. That should be enough to protect from dirt coming in further. But got it dug out, got my compactor in here, compacted the dirt, the subsoil, and then I compacted the rock under the footing. So I'm gonna start framing up the footing, and basically I'm gonna square the footing up exactly like you do a house or any structure. I basically put in 2 stakes that I know are in a straight line based off the back line of my house. I don't know if you can see that right up there. Kind of see it, but anyway, there's a string line that runs right across here, and I used a level down to mark my wall. So I used that line, a level, long board to mark my wall, set a couple stakes so I know that's my straight line. So I'm going to start with that form. I'm going to get that one up and level, and then I'll build off of that so I can square everything off of that. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna start building this back one. All right, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, June 29th, and today I have a truck coming at 10 o'clock to pour my footing for my storm shelter. So pretty much worked till about 9:30 last night, and I'm just finishing up this morning. I just got to put the rebar in, which I just got done, and then I got to put my key in. And I'll explain that a little bit more later, but all I gotta do is put that key in, and then I'll be ready. To keep my rebar up, I just bought these little clips at Menards. They're only like 17 cents a piece. I was thought they were a little cheap, but they actually work really good. And then I bought wire ties to tie all the rebar together, so that'll lock all the rebar in and keep those from all tipping over. So should be in good shape. So let's talk about that key. The key is when you pour a footing, let me get a piece of wood here. So the concrete's going to come up flush with this. I put these cross members in right here to tie the two outsides together. That keeps it from spreading. But also, so I can screw a 2x4 in right there. So that'll be below the surface, 1.5 inches of the concrete. And what that does is once this is done drying, we'll take all this off. And then there'll be a groove the size of a 2x4 in the footing. And then when you pour your wall actually is locked in to the footing. So hydraulic pressure can't as easily push your wall off your footing. It also keeps water from penetrating. If you just had a flat surface and you pour your wall on there, there's going to be a seam, a weak point there. So water could get in, and hydraulic pressure from the ground could push the wall off. So if you just screw a 2x4 in, that leaves a notch, and then when you pour your wall, it locks it in. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to put that in. I got all the pieces cut. Just got to screw them all together. It's Monday. I poured this footing on Saturday. So it's been 2 days. I had to go pick up my kids. They were down at my parents' for the weekend. So just out here to take off the forms. And one thing I wanted to mention that I usually do, and I was in a hurry so I didn't do it, and that's all these screws on top. I usually cover them with tape because then it makes it real easy to get them out. I didn't do that, so there's concrete in them, so some of them I can't get out, so I'm going to have to go do it the old-fashioned way with a big hammer and a crowbar. But turned out pretty good. So I'm going to get all these forms off, and then I'm going to pull this key out, and then you'll be able to see what that actually is and how that will lock the wall in. So, all right, you can see I pulled that 2x4 out. So basically how this key is going to work is the wall is going to be 8 inches wide. So there'll be one side of the wall here, one side of the wall here. So when I pour that concrete, it'll form down in there, and that'll lock that wall into that footing.